$459, $450, it's not working. I couldn't sleep. I can't sleep. I won't sleep. But see, I couldn't sleep that first night when I heard them rapping over a beat. It was my obsession to track my words within a beat that had me beat. I couldn't eat. Okay, that's a lie. But even as I ate, I was thinking of the next line. I couldn't speak. I couldn't talk. I had to sit the whole night. I couldn't walk. Because that night, I couldn't sleep. In the next room, right a couple of meters from my face, was my mother telling my father that I was awake. And I thought this whole life was a race, but what's the point of starting off when you go nowhere in the first place? And that night, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep the night I stood at Mulungushi Conference Center. It was about 2 years ago, I can remember. We were about to get on stage, and then someone broke the cable backstage. I was in a rage. That night, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep when they told me it was about mathematics and science and things like that. I thought at the back of my book, why not just write a rap? Because there was no point of me learning about equations when the hip-hop world needed saving. So that night, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't speak as she told me, it's over. After 2 weeks. I was like, when I tell this to my friends, they were like, dude, you're weak. What kind of game is that? You couldn't even get past base 5. That game is whack. And that night, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep the night Super told me, Krytic, sure, we have to infiltrate this industry, and I have an idea for a song called Bittersweet. And I sat there and I listened, and I said, oh, this guy's crazy. What is he making us do? That night, I couldn't speak to Super because I thought he was killing the art. I thought he was killing what was still in my heart. I thought he was moving, but he was trying to be stealing the spark. Until a couple years or a couple weeks later, it was crazy though, I heard Bittersweet was #1 on the radio. I called Mom at 04 because that night, I slept. I slept because I was tired of taking calls of people telling me, oh my God, Krytic, you have made it, dog. I said, that's right. That's me on that radio. Then it started to hit me, what on earth do they play me for? Do they play me for the fact that I'm cool? Or do they play me because I'm whack? In that turn, do they play me for a fool? I sat up thinking, that night, I couldn't sleep. I was at the Born and Bred Awards, and I was sitting in the crowd, and they called the winner, and everything was loud. And I opened my eyes, hoping to see, only to find the winner wasn't me. That night, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't speak to Super because we both felt it deep down inside. Because I met him one day in September and I told him, whatever it is, tell me, I'm down to ride. We can do this every place, every hood. I asked, what's the name of the studio? And he said, Soul. And it sounded so good at night. I couldn't sleep. But see, the irony of being trapped within a beat to live forever is like a baby dreaming of never to live whenever. And most of you will snap, but don't sleep. That line was whack. The truth of the matter is, the second you sleep, there's somebody behind you trying to get what you're trying to eat. So sometimes I look at excess and he looks at me and thinks I'm stressless, and then I look at K-Star and I look at him, I'm seeing he's trying to spray bars, and I think, I can't sleep. Because tomorrow he's going to be cutting my throat. It'll be excess versus K-Star versus Krytic, and we'll wonder to whom they'll give the vote. But either way, I hope to be the one who ends up in the Bahamas. That's why I showed up here in my pajamas.